Great. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another valuable session with us at the Value Loop Hub. The Value Loop is a community of driven professionals committed to growth and collective success. Here at the Value Loop, we turn potential into performance through shared learning, real conversations that inspire action. At the heart of the Value Loop, we have things such as we learn, we apply, we share, and we grow. If this is your first time here, we welcome you and we would want you to look at our YouTube channel, our WhatsApp channel, our LinkedIn channel, and explore the various other sessions that we've had and pick up one or two nuggets from that. Today is going to be a very exciting session as we have a very exciting topic that goes with generational growth and evolution. The topic we have today is around the topic of AI, where we would be speaking on leveraging AI as a competitive advantage in the workplace. Our speaker today is a very seasoned professional in this and will be giving us his insight in the field of AI. So without further ado, I would want to introduce our speaker, and then we'll give him a round of applause a virtual round of applause while he comes on to present. Our speaker today is Mr. Peter Onisha Perebakumo. I apologize if I murdered your name again. After years, I still can't pronounce it properly. He is a seasoned web and mobile stack software engineer, a technological entrepreneur, and a digital strategist with over a decade of professional experience. He is the co-founder of Book Me Now, a growing African technological startup, and he is based in Accra, even if he is very much Nigerian. Peter has built and contributed scalable digital products for clients and organizations across Africa and internationally. His work and thoughts through leadership, focus, and technological innovations, startups, and personal development have impacted a number of people across the African continent. And he is strongly committed to empowering the youth and transform ideas into sustainable and impactful driven businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mr. Peter Onisha. So Peter, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hey, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Big shout out to Abba and his team. They're doing an amazing job, bringing folks together to learn, to share knowledge, and to stay afloat in this, I would say, challenging times. Um, it's quite interesting that every single day, in fact, at this point, I would say every single second, there is something happening in the world. In as much as there are good things happening, there are also bad things happening. And in as much as we focus on the good side of things, the good side of things are also causing certain issues that um, tends to be threat to our, I would say, employment. Staying employed is that I would say it's one of the challenging things right now. It's one of the things that are concerning, right? And for example, yesterday, um, give me a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. So yesterday there was a tweet that was trending from the CEO Jack. So Jack is the founder of Square. He was once the co-founder of Twitter, or now called X, right? So they laid off over 4,000 people from their slightly over 10,000 employee roster. So there are about 4,000 plus employees that were laid off. And one of the ways they use to decide who to lay off is those people that can, they laid off people that required self hand holding or spoon feeding. Mostly entry level, juniors, and slightly seniors as well, senior staff. But they kept those people that they feel were principal, people that could move the needle, people that were helping the business grow exponentially. So, and these are people that are also using AI, right? So, at the end of the day, in as much as AI has come to make life super easy for all of us, it has also added a layer of complication. So today, we'll be talking about leveraging AI as a competitive advantage at the workplace. So allow me to share my screen. Um, Desktop 2 is wide. Um, awesome. Share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can, Peter. Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thing Zoom is weird. Anyways, let me share slideshow. Y'all can see the slide, right? Abba, please confirm. You can see the slide
Yes, I
in
can.
presentation mode. Awesome. Okay, so leveraging AI as a competitive advantage at the workplace. Now, a few things I would want everyone to take from here. I was made to understand this is a mixed audience, right? There are different people from different practices and different levels. Some are managers, some are people that run their own business, some are technical, possibly, and the like, right? Um, so this is not to a specific industry or anything. This is to everybody that has a job or running the business or just thinking about the future, right? So yeah, as Abba already mentioned, my name is Peter Onisha. Um, I'm the founder and lead software engineer and AI engineer at Bookme Now, which is a startup that helps service providers um, kind of like promote their services and collect down payments from their customers. So we have users like um, therapy businesses, spa businesses, nail technicians, beauticians, and the like that use BookMe now to kind of manage their own storefront of services and share that link with their customers, and people can book them and make down payments. And also, I run another software agency called Vibrinum Technologies, where we do three things. One, we build software solutions for clients. Two, we build our own ideas. We build products that we think should exist on the continent of Africa, which BookMe now tends to be the flagship product. And then thirdly, we talk to companies and help them get prepared for the AI revolution that is already here with us. So without further ado, I'll continue now. Um, why AI matters now is something that a lot of people might not be asking more, because we are all carried away by either the amazing things that AI can do or the threats that AI brings to us, right? But I tell you today that AI is no longer optional. It's becoming a baseline skill. If you ask me, I would say it has become a baseline skill. At least the next 1, 2 years, it would be that baseline skill. Just like how back in the time, a lot of people were using typewriters, right? And then Office 365 came, Microsoft came and brought Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and the like. And some people had to switch, right? But others fought it, like they fought it, like they were like, oh no, there were like a lot of pushback. Oh, we think this is temporary. And a lot of the time, people were making such decisions because they feel like they've invested so much into owning their current skill or getting to their current position. And because of that, with the conviction they have from their personal experiences, they feel like this would not take their jobs. AI cannot do things the way I do it. Yeah, sure, AI might not be able to do things the way you do it, but guess what? It might do it better than you, even, right? And I'm not here to challenge anyone's beliefs, right? I'm not here to say anything to put anybody off. I'm only here to give you facts. And at the same time, I'm here to also equip you and help move your mindset to a place where you would not be the guy that is being left behind because he or she is fighting AI, but you become the person that takes advantage of the AI era and become super productive in your team that no employer would want to let you go. That is what this presentation is for. Companies using AI effectively are definitely one moving faster because AI can do things or get things done at the speed that humans can't even reach, right? Companies using AI are steadily reducing costs. For example, like what I said at the beginning, CEOs are now laying off staff. We all know staff salaries are expensive. It's funny, you might think you're not being paid enough, but just think about it for a second. And you guys are 10, 20, 50 in the company, and they have to pay everyone that same amount, right? That is what makes it expensive. Because if you multiply it by the number of staff, then it becomes expensive, right? And companies are also paying for things that subscriptions and things and costs that it's too much for them for operation wise, but as they're leveraging AI, it's become cheaper. It has become way cheaper, right? It's just a fraction of what they were initially paying. So yes, companies would definitely want to adopt AI, right? And companies using AI are making better decisions because the core of AI is to make sure that you are data driven. AI has a lot of data on your business based on what you feed onto it though. It doesn't just know your business until you feed something into it. But based on what you feed into the AI, it understands your business processes, is able to work with you like a work partner and help you make better decisions. And we all know any decision that you make that is not based off proper data, it's most likely a wrong decision or one that is not sustainable in the long run. Yes. So the real advantage isn't the tool, it's how people use it, right? So AI by itself, it's not something that is super crazy. It is only crazy because people are using it to achieve tasks. They are using it to solve problems. They are using it to as a leverage. They are using it to outperform their competition. They are using it to save costs. They are using it to move fast, and ultimately, they are using it to make better decisions that in turn make them more relevant or make them more money. So, what AI can do at work, right? Practical examples of what AI can help you do at work based on how technically you can be or based on the tools you have access to. One, AI can help you automate routine tasks. So, think about those of you that always have to read and send emails, right? Um, the other day, it's funny. I happened to be in the AI community here in Ghana, and I was driving with a friend the other day, and she had to compose an email for her boss. And I was just there and watched how she struggled to compose the email. And it's crazy because emails are, I would say, the basic or the baseline of some of the things we do in the corporate sector. Where if you need to follow up on someone, you have to send an email. If you want to find out about something or make inquiry, you have to send an email. If you want to send reports to your boss, you have to send an email, right? So it means emails are the baseline digital form that communication happens in the corporate sector, though, right? Formal sector, right? And I watched her struggle with it, right? So in that moment, I was like, okay, why don't you use AI as assistants? And it's funny how this person is in the AI community as well, but I kind of figured out that a lot of people think about AI and they think AI should do only certain things. So you see AI as a separate entity. It should do only certain things, other things I would do it myself, which is fine. But what if you consider another approach? What if you try to figure out how to embed AI in your workflow? So every single thing you do, embed AI. And my friends, I am not saying that that is being lazy. If you're someone that thinks that is being lazy, then I think you need to change that mindset because um, spending so much time getting something done does not necessarily mean that you're being productive. If you are an employee in a company, your the requirements or the ask of your boss is for you to be hardworking. Yes, but ultimately they want you to work smart because they want to save time, they want to achieve their goals on time and early, and I want to cash out. Allow me to use that, right? So if you're somebody that's dealing with emails back and forth, and we know how sensitive, and one of the reasons why you delay in sending emails is you're thinking about the emotional side. What is the emotional message you're passing across with this email? I think things like that you don't need to stress anymore. AI is here, ChatGPT is here, for example. tell ChatGPT the scenario, tell them what you're trying to pass across, and then see the options that ChatGPT brings up for you. And I'm not saying AI is coming to replace you for that particular task. No, I'm saying you are using ChatGPT as a buddy and as an assistant to yourself to move faster. Because at the end of the day, you would have to be the one to validate whatever he has done and approve it before you go. But some of the things you can also automate is reports. Um, I've worked with a lot of companies and consulted for companies where I see that every time they are generating the same report, but they have to manually go to Excel sheet and tweak things themselves, and it's just really time consuming. I think AI can help with that flow so that you can focus on other things that would help move the needle. Do you understand? So get the report on time, give it to your boss so that decisions can happen quicker instead of spending too much time beautifying a report manually. And scheduling. If there's meeting schedules and things that need to happen, AI is here for that. You can literally set up automations at your workplace that can help you handle your scheduling, handle any kind of like scheduling task or anything, maybe reminders or weekly report sending, and maybe there are some emails or follow-ups that need to happen automatically. You can schedule these things, right? You don't have to wait to the day that you need to do the like you need to send the email to reach out that you need to actually reach out that they know. You can actually schedule some of the emails. The good thing here is that your Gmail allows you to schedule. I think a lot of the email clients and providers now allow you to schedule. These are some of the things you need to use. Automation is some of the things that you need to take advantage of. Now, data entry, very interesting and funny. Today, people still fill things on paper and then go and manually type it into Excel sheet. We've moved past that time, folks. Whatever has been given to you, you can literally tell ChatGPT to generate an Excel sheet for you, literally from that. And automatically open the Excel sheet in your Microsoft Excel. Or like me, I use Google products, I use Google Sheets. You can open your Google Sheet, and then if anything, you need to copy anything, it's easier that way now. You can copy things. You've just saved yourself the stress of manually typing. There's even AI that can help you fill forms, right? You don't need to stress too much. You can fill forms and all of that, right? And sometimes it might sound like AI is promoting laziness, but I am saying, in as much as it seems that way, the aim here is to see how you can take advantage of this new innovation, right? So that you can become super productive at work and become super valuable to your employer, right? Second thing, you can practical examples improve decision making, data analysis, data forecasting, like prediction and forecasting and insights is one core thing, right? I see no reason why you're being given a report and you have to go and manually alone analyze the data and all of that. Trust me, AI sees patterns that you cannot see within seconds. It sees patterns that will take you 6 months to decipher within seconds. So if you ask me, won't it be best if you give that report to ChatGPT? Whilst ChatGPT is doing its thing, you also can now do your thing. That way, it's like whatever you're going to create, whatever decision will come out of it will be fortified because you had help from an intelligent system that could detect patterns, analyze your data, see where you guys are making losses, or see where the things that need attention, draw up alarm points so that okay, this is something we need to look at. Based on how the trend is going, this business might not survive in the next 2 years. You might have a hypothetical knowledge when you look at this data. You might guess. So oftentimes we would do guesswork. A boss can be like, based on how the business profit is going or the business operation and the revenue is going, I think this company might not be able to survive the next 2 years. But if you allow AI to do that analysis, it can even be more precise. It can be more precise and tell you, hey, you actually have, based on your revenue, you actually only have 6 months runway. It means you would be dying out in 6 months, right? It's able to give you more accurate predictions, right, as compared to humans. And I'm not saying it's smarter than you, but when we are considering certain variables like speed, because the whole point of making decision is that if you should be able to make decisions as quick as possible so that you can help save your business or save your career. So one of the other practical examples too is enhance AI helps you enhance creativity and problem solving. So if you're someone that likes to brainstorm around content and product ideas, your perfect buddy is AI, right? Go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of the chat agents that you use and actually brainstorm. Do you know you can go to ChatGPT and ask Chat after brainstorming an idea, maybe a product you guys are trying to launch or anything? Do you know you can ask ChatGPT, give it context, and say, "Hey, based on the Nigerian population and trends online, do you think people would have challenges using this particular product, or do you think people would have challenges, or do you think we'll face challenges where people don't buy this product? What are some of the reasons why you think people will not patronize this product?" And you'll be shocked that AI would show you and tell you some of the things that it feels or things based on data, historic data, that would hinder people from patronizing that product. And when you see that, a lot of people will end there. But do you know you can also ask ChatGPT, what are some of the ways that we can solve these problems that you have suggested? Right. I am not saying that you're throwing off the entire workload to ChatGPT. I'm saying if you're brainstorming, it's best to have all the parameters and variables in front of you on the table, right? That way, you are the expert. You are the expert, definitely. So when you have all the variables on the table, you're able to make the right decisions because it will be data backed decisions, right? And that way, you can quickly test ideas and move forward. Instead of you brainstorming for months, trying to figure out how to solve a problem, you can use AI to help you so that you can get at least actionable items that you can try out within the shortest period of time, see how it does, right? Go back to the drawing board, iterate, and then eventually get something that is working for you. Lastly, but not the list, is another practical example is personal productivity. Personally, this is something I also like. I use AI for research, right? Because AI is able to draw connections that will take me a longer time to do, right? And oftentimes, if I'm really focused on building a product or solving a particular problem, you might get carried away with research and distractions. But AI is something that doesn't get distracted, so it will keep you in line. If anything, it does deep research for you. It has access to the web, and it will probably find links that you might not be able to check out. For example, when I was writing my dissertation back in university, um, when I was doing my research, there are some articles I come across. Once I just read the abstract or like the short description of the article, I probably feel like, no, this article has, I don't think this article would help me, so I'll just skip it. But that was because I was not patient enough. And it's fine because I'm on the clock, right? I have other things to get to. I have a deadline, I have other things to do. But now AI does not have those constraints that you as a human have. If anything, it has a superpower. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't get tired, it can do boring tasks, it can literally go check the entire internet to look for something without getting tired. If you tell your PA to do it or someone to do this, they will take a long time to find something or anything. Or if anything, they will give you something that they believe is proper research, but meanwhile, it is not really accurate because there are maybe probably some other opposing articles that they did not consider. And we are humans, we're emotional. So oftentimes there are a lot of biases when we are dealing with things. But AI is here and AI has little bias. That is the whole point of it coming. It's created so that it's very neutral on decisions. It doesn't tell you what to do. Just like how it will do the research for you, it won't tell you this is the right research, or this is the wrong one, or this is the right source, or this is the wrong source. But it is here to assist you. And you have the decision making power. You are the creator, you are the inventor, right? You are the person that is driving the boat. You are the architect, right? Another thing in the personal productivity example is summaries. So if you're trying to summarize a report to your boss, you can use AI to do that. I see no benefits from like for you to do it yourself, honestly. And I know some people might feel some type of way about it, but hey, this is a new reality. You have to move fast. Another thing on the personal productivity line, for examples, is learning faster. Personally, the rate at which I learn has increased because of AI. Before, you have to do crazy amount of research. You have to do digging before you find out some simple information. But today, it's as easy as just asking ChatGPT and it to give you the answer. But of course, to be sure that the answer is correct, you can ask it to give you the source, which is something people don't do. You have to ask it to give. You can ask it to give you the source of that information, and it will give you an article or something online that you go check it out, right? And you, as I said again, you are the architect. So AI is here to help you, but at the same time, you ought to be the one to consume that data or information is given to you and decide if you want to proceed with this or not. But the most important thing is that it makes you become a super productive human being personally, but also make you super productive at work. That makes you more valuable to your employer. Yeah. I would say the competitive advantage that we are all talking about here is from what I've said, you heard me say something like AI can do this, can do that, can do that. But most importantly, you are the person that have to drive that boat. So a competitive advantage is human plus AI. So it's a synergy between a human and AI. So if you're in here and you're in the workforce, you are the human. You have to become a symbiotic being. And what I mean by that is you have to merge with this external entity. In this case, it's AI, right? And yeah, sometimes it sounds like a movie, right? It sounds like a movie sometimes, but this is the reality right now. And you also understand that AI works best when paired with one human judgment, because humans, we have emotions, you understand more context, you have feelings, you know the truth, you know when to tell the truth, you know when to tell a lie, you know when to massage the truth. AI doesn't have this. So you need to pair it with your human judgment to be able to um, have the best out of AI. Secondly, you need to pair AI with context and domain knowledge. And this cannot be stressed enough because you are in a field where you know something. It means you have domain knowledge. You understand that field, you understand that particular task, you understand what needs to be done. So, in order to make AI work best for you, you need to give AI enough context, explain to AI how you understand the problem and how you intend to solve the problem. There's a difference between going to ChatGPT and telling ChatGPT, hey, how do I sell better as a business? You will get a generic answer. But if you give it more context about the things you've tried, what your business is about, your day to day operations, what are some challenges you face, what are some of the ways you've fixed some issues that you had before. Now, that is you giving it more context, right? And on the side of domain knowledge, you explain to it your line of business, how the market is like in your country or your area, geographic location where you're doing business. That way, AI can now give you a better result because you've given it more context and coupled with your domain knowledge that you've also given it to it, it will give you a more useful and practical answer. Thirdly, AI works best when you pair it with emotional intelligence. You are the human, you are the embodiment of emotions, right? So whatever AI gives to you, you would be the best person to judge what has been given to you. You'll be the best. For example, if it's an email it has generated, you would be the best judge to say, okay, this sounds cool, but I think let's tweak this a bit. Not just copy and paste it and have issues, right? And ethics and accountability. This is very important. In a world where computing is becoming the norm, in a world where a lot of things that we do today are reliant on artificial intelligence, ethics is very important. And you are the one that knows the laws. You are the one that know that, yes, AI may know the law, but you are the human being, right? And accountability is on you to make sure you call out any issue that is faced. To make sure that, okay, you're like, oh, this is wrong. Don't do this or don't do that. Right. So this is the true competitive advantage that you can have in the workplace when you combine artificial intelligence with what you are good at. So helping with human judgment, give it more context, and make sure you use your domain knowledge to guide the output that is produced, and make sure that you're in touch with the emotional side because that's what makes you human. Else you just be a robot. And of course, Do not neglect ethics. And of course, be the accountability partner to this AI. I would say AI doesn't replace people, it replaces people who don't use AI. I will repeat, AI won't replace people. It will only replace those people that do not use AI. I'll go back to the first example I gave. There was an era where typewriters were the main thing. Microsoft Word came, and those people that fought Microsoft Word all died out, faded out. It might be a very slow process. It might be a very slow process, but eventually you will get faded out if you don't take advantage of AI. Your competition will be way ahead of you because they are leveraging AI that is giving them speed, right? So even at the workforce, your colleagues at work would outperform you with their productivity and delivery, the rate at which they deliver things or get tasks done because they use artificial intelligence. And this is something that you have to have at the back of your mind. So every day, remember, if I do not use AI to get better at what I do, to blow my boss's mind, or to make sure that we achieve more in the company, we make more money, then I am super replaceable in the nearest future. And one thing that comes to mind is something that I read that I agree with so much. They said AI might not be able to take your current job. I'll repeat, AI might not be able to take your current job, but it would definitely make it harder for you to get your next one. And that is something that is already happening today. What does this mean for staff? Right? You should see AI as a career accelerator, not a threat. In as much as there are some bad things that AI has brought, do not see AI as a threat. If you see AI as a threat, then you'll be working in a certain way that might affect how you are approaching things, right? So see it that it is here to help you move faster, get to the next promotion, help your company make more money, save your boss time, make sure you satisfy your customers more, make sure you serve your customers and other colleagues more. Ultimately, employees who use AI would definitely deliver faster. They will produce higher quality work. You see, we've now changed from high quality work to higher because your colleagues that are not using AI might still be producing high quality work. Why? Because they have domain knowledge and they are good at what they do. They will still be producing high quality work, but hey, they'll be slow, and you'll be faster. Not just that, but you produce higher quality work, and of course, you become harder to replace. No boss wants to let go of an asset. If you're an employee that uses AI, you become an asset to the company. If you do not use AI, you become a liability. And I'm sorry, folks, a time will come where when you be let go, like to go because you are now a liability to the company. No employer wants to be spending money on someone that they think is not doing anything that's pushing the needle forward. And that is how it is today. Skill to build as a staff. What are some of the skills that you can build that would help you? One is prompting. For those who don't know what prompting just means the way you query ChatGPT, for example, right? The way you are able to, you know, talk to AI. That is prompting. A prompt is the text you send to AI to carry something out. The message or the text you send AI is what a prompt is. Prompting is the process of writing that prompt or that text, that question you're writing, or that task you wanted to get done, right? That is what prompting is. Another skill you need to build as a staff is critical thinking. You should be able to analyze things. Okay, there's a problem. What is the root cause of the problem? How do I go about solving the problem? And this is a skill because even before you send the first prompt to AI, you should have been able to critically thought through the process or thought through the issue at hand. so that you yourself, you really understand the issue first. Because oftentimes people are rushing to go to AI without even having a full understanding or full grasp of what the issue is. And because of that, you are not able to get the best results out of AI, and you conclude by saying it doesn't work. So develop critical thinking skills. Be able to analyze things, be able to think deeply about problems, be able to come up with solutions in your mind, hypothetical solutions, be able to have ideas, be able to think outside of the box, right? And if you're able to do that, it would help you with how you use AI. And now, another skill you should build is validation. You should be able to tell that, okay, this is correct, or nah, this is not really good. Because I'm going to assume that everyone on this call has some form of domain knowledge. If you're an employee, it means you've been employed to get a specific job done. And you have domain knowledge of that job description. In fact, that's why you applied, right? You have domain knowledge, right? And with domain knowledge, it means you should have the ability to call out when something is not solid. Okay, this is not right, or this is wrong, or okay, this is good, but it could be better if we apply this, right? That way, you don't just dwell on whatever AI spit out for you, right? You're able to contribute to it. You're able to refine it, right? If anything, you should be saying that, okay, AI can help you get certain things done, but you should be able to refine it or tell it what to do exactly to even make it better. That is what this means for staff. Now, what does this mean for managers? Anybody that happens to be in a leadership position, it could be the CEO, it could be the manager, it could be anybody that's leading a team, right? You have to understand that competitive teams are AI enabled, not AI restricted. So as a company, you need to start embracing AI. As a team lead, you need to start embracing AI. Make sure your team is AI enabled. If you need to subscribe to a premium feature on ChatGPT or one of the other AI platforms, you should be able to do that so that the environment is AI enabled. That way, your business can move faster. That way, you can automatically encourage your employees to use AI instead of talking them down or prohibiting AI, or instead of restricting AI. And remember that competitive teams are measured by outcomes, not effort. So if your employees have to work, it's funny, sometimes, I won't say sometimes, most of the times, you are not promoted at work just because you've been working so hard. They might say that when they are giving you the promotion, but ultimately, it is the outcomes that your hard work produced that made them say they want to promote you. It's not the effort. It is not. Because you can have two people that work so hard. If one of them doesn't produce results, he or she would never be promoted. So then, you can realize that it is not just the effort, but what is mostly important to a business is the outcomes. So make sure your environment or your workforce or workplace or team is AI enabled to help you achieve a better outcome, right? Now, managers must one encourage experimentation. We are at an era where things can change anytime. And to be able to be competitive in your field or industry, you ought to be able to encourage your employees to experiment, right? Try things out. What are some of the ways you can drive revenue today? What are some ideas we can explore, right? Allow them just experiment. It's interesting today. You can use AI platforms to generate videos, marketing videos, right? You can use AI to generate professional photo shoots as experiments. Even if you're going to commit some finance to it, we all know the actual photo shoot or the actual commercial would be more expensive. But with AI, it comes for a fraction, at least to help you experiment to see what works and what doesn't work, right? And then you can then double down in terms of funding or budget to now scale those things or explore those things that actually work so you don't throw your money into the ocean. Managers must set ethical and data boundaries. As a manager, your duty is not to gatekeep or restrict AI. Instead, it's to set rules at the office. of ethical boundaries. Okay, we're using AI, but these are certain things we cannot use AI for in this office. Data boundaries. Yes, we're using AI, but we would not share our customer information with AI. Instead, the best we can do is share names. And names today do not have that much damage on individuals. The reason is there are no extra identifying things, for example, that can touch their finance, for example, their personal pains or bank account numbers or um, identifying data like the date of birth, the where they are from, their community, their address, and the like. So you can set data boundaries, or you can even say, you know what, we're not sharing any person's information with AI. We're only going to generate pseudo names or pseudo labels for this data. But the point is, we want to be able to set these boundaries to make sure that we are also protecting our customer information whilst we are experimenting. Lastly, I would say managers must upskill teams, not gatekeep tools. So if there's a particular team using something that works, a manager needs to enable that environment so that employees would be able to share tools with other employees to get them better. We don't want it to become a thing where one person knows how to use something and we leave it at that. The person doesn't want to share. No, we have to encourage everyone to collaborate. And that is why we are a team, right? You need to move together. We need to make sure that if today Abba is on my team and he found something that helps him get his work done 2 times faster, Abba should be able to share that with me because we're all driving towards the same goal, which is being super productive at work to make sure that um, profitability of the company increases. The rate at which we are achieving outcomes and milestones is very accelerated. And these are some of the things we need to think about. Sometimes we can get selfish. We might be thinking, oh, if I share it, I might not be able to clock that promotion. But do you know what is even more fun? Is if everybody gets a raise because of if everybody gets a raise, then I think people will not be fighting for promotions. Because honestly, from my experience, people fight for promotion because with the new position comes a different salary. And that is literally what it is in all the corporate sector that I have consulted or worked for. People want to be promoted because they want to earn more. But what if we all move together as a team and we improve together, learn from you to they learn from me? It means we're able to drive profits of the company. And guess what? Any employer that is happy with you would want to increase salary for the entire team or give bonuses. At the end of the day, everybody's happy. I would say how to start. We're getting to the end of the presentation. I would say how to start today and not next year. One, identify repeatable task at your company, right? I'm not even saying look into other teams. I'm just talking about your current team, what you are doing. What are some of the tasks that you guys keep doing periodically? Is it happening on a daily basis? Is it that whenever you come to the office every morning, there's something you need to do? Exact same thing all the time, right? If that is the case, the next thing you should do after you identify those tasks, test AI as a co-pilot, not an autopilot, right? So try to use AI to be your co-pilot. Try to use AI to go back and forth on things you need to do. So at the beginning, it should not be as though you're offloading your entire workload to AI to get it done for you, but instead have it be your personal assistant. Okay. You want to get a task done, have the conversation with AI. Tell AI how you already have been getting the task done and ask it, hey, how do we automate this? How do we make this even easier? How do we set up certain systems and structures in place that would make me achieve the same result and even better, but in a shortest period of time? All right. And thirdly, I would say form the habit of documenting what works for your normal business processes or your task at work. Why? Because you can only build upon something that works. There is no point to try to repeat the same number of things every day when you should have discovered and noted that it's number seven that works. If it's number seven that works, there's no point going from number one to through six. before you hit seven, like, oh, seven works. And every time you have to do that, try to document the things that work for you so that it would help you achieve more. Fourthly, I would say share learnings across teams. Collaboration is the key now. If you ask me, I would say it's a war now between humans and AI evolution. And trust me, you can't know everything. Why? Because we all come from different backgrounds. When you leave the office, everybody's exposed to different things. Some people are, some people have a social media presence. They're able to follow the latest trends on technology innovations. So have the habits and share learnings across teams to make sure that the team grows together because that is the true way that you would win. And number five, on the list, I would say build an AI first fear. Think about how you can use AI to even improve your personal life. It might be as simple as, hey, how do I have a great morning? And I work here. It takes me 2 hours to drive to the office. This is where my office is. My company does this. And this is my position. This is what I do. This is what I struggle with at work. These are some of the things I have on my mind daily. This is the kind of issue I'm dealing with family wise. It might not, if it's family and personal, you don't need to be that detailed. But of course, you should be able to explain a problem you have without giving off too much information that is personal to you, right? So you can draw a plan, right? Because oftentimes we tend to underestimate the power of AI. And whenever we think about AI, we think it's all this big thing. It has to be used for something big. No. Do you know that for your personal development, you can use AI to help yourself? If you're overweight, or if you're someone that wants to lose weight, or you're someone that wants to achieve a certain kind of body, do you know you can go to AI, explain to AI what you're struggling with, right? Or you can even tell AI, hey, this is my goal. I currently weigh 96 kg. I want to get to 90 kg in the next 1 month or two or whatever it is. Um, how do I achieve that? Ask me questions that would help me achieve that, or questions that would help you bring up a plan that works for me. This is the time I go to work. This is the number of times I eat a day. These are the kind of food I eat. Now, when you give it that much context, it's able to work out something that actually works for you. It's not a habit yet, would not be sustainable. Able to start it, but eventually you wouldn't be consistent because you did not develop the habit. But one thing AI is good at is help you to progressively build habits that would change your life. And it's very funny that I use fitness as one, uh, but it is because one, it gives you a clear mind. Two, you get to have a personal feeling and impact of what AI can do for you when you're trying to chase a personal goal. And health is very important at work, especially in the corporate sector. For example, I'm based in Ghana here. We did a research with the hospital for some of the top banks, like 7 top banks in Ghana, and we discovered that um, high BP is common with staff, with employees and companies, right? And it's crazy. And some other findings too. And it was very crazy because we use AI to achieve that. We do that. This particular hospital has been doing tests periodically for these banks, right? But then they would always have to go and review. But over time, it's hard to go and track somebody's BP or blood sugar level for every staff over time. Let me say for 7 years, for example, right? It's hard to keep track of those things manually. But do you know you can dump all that data, like the PDFs or the reports, into AI, ChatGPT in this case, for example, and ask it questions, right? That's one way to use ChatGPT. You have a report at the office, dump it on ChatGPT, ask questions about the report. It understands it. Ask it some trends. You have to sign a legal document, dump it on ChatGPT. Tell it to summarize the document and point out some concerns, right? It would do that. The world has changed, folks, and this is how to start. Lastly, the take home here is you should understand that AI is a multiplier, right? AI is a multiplier of what already works. So if you're a staff, I'm guessing you are still employed, you still have your job because you're doing something that works. So why don't you use AI to multiply that? And it's time to get rid of that mindset that it's not my business, I don't care. If you already have that mindset, then my friend, you're on the next train to lose your job pretty much soon. That is what is going to happen. Remember that the advantage goes to individuals and organizations that learn faster, adapt faster, and apply it responsibly. I'll repeat, the advantage goes to individuals and organizations, and I'm talking about staff, employees, everybody in the company. People that learn faster, they adapt faster to the new trend, and they apply it responsibly. Responsibly here means you know when to use it, when not to. You know how to validate it. You know how to give it more context. You know how to call the shots. You know how to be the architect that you are to make sure that things work as they should. Right? So we are at the end now. What I was initially going to do was show some like ChatGPT querying and all of that, right? And to help me, I would want to talk with I think on the call we are, let me see how many people on the call. Da, 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 da. Zoom is weird, man. I can't even see the number of people on this call. Um, so first, I want to know what fields, what industries are on this call. Then we can go through a brainstorming session for something. So what fields are on this call, if I may ask? Which industries are people working at? Fatimat, what do you do? Fatimat Abdullahi. The person is not talking. Um, let me stop.
Peter, so you have some replies in the comments. Someone, Tega has mentioned that she's in consulting. And I
Okay.
know there are some people that work in customer relations and customer care on the call as well.
Okay. I think I will need to stop sharing so that I can see the chat. Zoom is weird. Ava, choose better. Um, okay. What time the information that yeah provides using Grok as a case study. I'm seeing several information being donated. The question is how do we filter information using narratives? Okay, some questions there. Okay, for someone early consulting. Okay, what field? For someone, Tega said for someone early in their career, what is the most practical way to start leveraging AI without a technical background? So, okay, we'll get to the questions in a bit. All right. Um, okay. Anyone wants to tell me what I can everybody just dump what field they are in, industry in the chat. Just drop it in the chat. No need to say anything, just drop the name of the field or so I want to just pick something at random. I see consulting and anyone. It should be quick. It should be quick. Telecommunication, nice, nice. Um, HR professional, nice. That's cool. Um, um, who else? Who else? Drop it. Customer relation and customer experience, law enforcement. Wow, Mike. Okay, Mike, you're a policeman. um, HR in an NGO. Okay, okay. Okay, I see two HR. I see two HR. Okay, HR seems to be leading. Okay, nice to meet you, Mike. HR. Okay, HR. Okay, cool. Data analyzing. How to use AI to build websites and HR information systems. Okay, this is Tutu Danjuma. Okay, so one of the reasons why I didn't want to show any tool in particular is because I realized that the mindset is very important and there are tools. Anything you want to do, just Google it, you'll find tools. Or ask ChatGPT what tools to use, you'll find, right? And somebody just asks, how do you build websites, right? Is that something people are interested in here? Is that something people are interested in here? To gravity. Um, cool. That's just crazy insects flying. Yes. Okay, Mike, you want to learn web development and customer service, and yes. Okay, awesome. So I'll talk about some of the things that you can use ChatGPT for, right? For example, um, you're able to use ChatGPT in these different industries that you mentioned. I'll just walk through them. I will not show anything really, but I'll just walk through them. Telecommunication, you have to be more precise about what you do there. Then most of the time is data collection, task management. You can use AI to do that. Literally on your chat GPT, you can have a chat that all you do there is daily check-ins on the task you have to do and all of that. For HR professionals, one, I will tell you something that we use AI for HR company in Sweden. So basically, they had to build something that would help track employee leaves, right? And we're able to set up a process for them where they could just have a system, right? We use AI to even build a system where um every employer, or rather every employee, gets to fill out the days they want to go on leave. Because sometimes you don't know when they want to go on leave until they say it. But right, it means they have to contact you, the HR, right? So you can use ChatGPT to track all of that. If somebody gets back to you on when they want to go on leave, you can document all of that in ChatGPT. And it's interesting. Someone might be like, oh, it's good to put it on Excel sheet. But the challenge with Excel sheet and this structural form of like databases or data storage systems is that soon as the data starts growing, you lose track of the story, you lose track of patterns, right? But if you're able to have what you have already, maybe I might say still use the sheets if maybe you want to share with people or that's the structure you're used to, that's fine. But do well to export and send to ChatGPT and ask certain questions, right? Okay, when did this person go on leave? There's no point trying to scroll through thousands of records trying to look for when Abba went on leave on the 17th of February in 2003 or something, right? You can just dump that record on ChatGPT and it would give it for you. And it's funny, you can even tell ChatGPT to build a dashboard, right, of that data, and you'll do it and tell you how to run and view the dashboard. Folks, we've got to a place where you don't have to be super technical to get certain things done, right? You don't have to be super technical to get certain things done, right? So HR, that's something you can benefit from. Customer relation and customer experience. There's something that can help you if you're in the customer relation and customer experience world is something called a cadence. The word cadence tends to mean uh, tracking a sequence of events or something. So you can maintain a cadence of your relationship with customers, right? Where you tend to track and log the interaction you've had with these customers, and that's what separates businesses that are doing really good from those that are not doing good. For example, you call a customer today, you had a discussion with a customer. Do you know that you might not be able to recall what the discussion was a week from now? But it might be that that particular discussion you had, there is data in there that can help increase the revenue. So what our advice is, have a chat on ChatGPT, like another tab or something, where you log customer interactions. Okay, I called Abba today, and Abba mentioned that he was busy. He said I should call him tomorrow. Now you set a next line of action. Tomorrow you get a reminder, and then you call Abba. After that conversation, you log the summary of what you guys talked about, right? Over time, you realize that you're getting closer to closing the deal. And if for any reason something went off, you can easily backtrack actual conversations, not do guesswork. You can actually backtrack actual conversations that would let you pinpoint what exactly or where exactly things went wrong in the conversation, right? You might be thinking this is why the person dropped off. You might also be thinking the person dropped off based on the reason they gave to you, but they might just be quoting the reason. It might be that pricing was their issue, but they just, said, oh, they're not ready for it right now. They'll let you know when they're ready. But if you're able to track the conversations and you go back to look at it, right, or you ask ChatGPT to point out some of the issue, you might recall that because you told ChatGPT that, oh, this last call, the person said to call them later. ChatGPT will be able to tell you that, oh, do you remember the second call on this particular date? The person expressed that the price, when you mentioned the price, the person said, hey, it's too much, right? So that alone might be a reason for which they are now putting you off at the end. And you might be surprised if you go back to them and be like, oh, you know what, we're giving you 50% off. You might be surprised at how their moods will be lightened, but they didn't tell you what's price, but that's literally what it was, right? In law enforcement, this one is tricky, but you said you're interested in web. Um, so AI tools today, you can use it to get a new skill. If you want to develop websites, you can do that. And maybe I will show you one tool for those that are interested in web development. I will show you a tool that can build any website for you from just even the person's Instagram page. For example, you can take somebody's Instagram page, Abba's Instagram page, give it to this AI and be like, um, build a website for me based on this. It would go and do research on Abba, for example, and do a website that suits Abba, right? And that is how crazy AI platforms have become. Some of the tools you can use for web development for those people that are not really technical are tools like Lovable. I will type. I'm sending them in the chat so that you can use tool like Lovable. You can use tool like V0. And if you're interested in mobile applications, you can use tools like Rock AI, where you can build mobile applications. I just sent in the charts, right? So these are some of the platforms you can use to build websites, right? But mostly a lot of the things you want to do, you can do in ChatGPT, like tracking information, brainstorming most of the time. You can use ChatGPT to do that. So I'll keep your questions coming in so that I just answer all of them as I go. Somebody said HR. Okay, I already talked about that. Data analysis. Um, what's the best way to analyze your data right now is doing it yourself, but at the same time using AI too to give that same report or raw data. And the funny thing is that as a data analyst, when you're analyzing data, you need to clean up the data, right? To make it um clean and meaningful. But it's funny, AI understands unstructured data. AI can even help you do the data cleaning process because data cleaning process is actually one tedious task to get done. ChatGPT alone can help you clean up your data. How do you use AI to build websites and HR information systems? As I mentioned, you can use Lovable, but since you've mentioned information system, I would say look into anti-gravity. You used to look into anti-gravity, Keza. So these tends to be more complex systems. It requires you to be able to understand certain things, but you don't need to be too technical because you can ask the AI anything you don't understand and it'll help you. So anti-gravity and Keza can, for me, my favorite is anti-gravity. So you can use anti-gravity to do your thing. And of course, there's also the Google AI Studio, which can also help you as well. I just sent that also in the chat. You can check that out. Um, somebody asks, how do we filter in real time the information that AI provides? Using Grok as a case study, I have seen several instances of false information being generated by AI. So my question is, how do we filter out false information and misleading narratives produced by AI? Hmm. To answer this is very simple. Just like how in your community, when there's an information, you need to verify it. You know where to call, where to go to, or you know who to call, right? Same thing. If you see an information and you're not sure if it's real, your best bet is to go on the internet. You're smart enough to know that when you see an article, if it's fake or not. Um, part of critical thinking is being able to detect credible sources, right? If it's something that involves your national geographic location, you should be able to see the news on air in radio stations. You should be able to see it everywhere and keep an open mind to know if somebody comes to confirm that this news is real or fake. And just like how you're not supposed to take anything you see on the internet for what it is, the same way you should not just rely and be dependent on AI, right? Just like how they say, don't social media life is fake life, right? Don't follow what influencers are telling you because some of them it's just a way to just manipulate to get their benefits, right? The same way, whatever it is, AI being inclusive, whatever it is that you see online, try to make sure that you verify the credibility before accepting it. Yeah. How do leaders handle employee resistance when AI changes roles or performance expectations? Very interesting. The easiest way I would say is have a meeting, right? And be willing to sponsor employees to take AI classes. Bring a professional to the company on a particular day and make sure that people are educated on how they can use it. Because now, if they are made to understand that, hey, I am doing this for you guys, so that you stay relevant in this company, right? So we can also move faster forward in this company as well, right? So the easiest and quickest way I would say is inclusivity, bring them together, right? And there's a way to go about it. I feel like you know your employees, right? But most importantly, educate them on these things. And you might not be able to have all the knowledge, but bring in professionals that understand this. For example, a month ago, I had to go to a company and do an education on how they can leverage AI, just like how this call is happening. But that one was more practical, where they can ask me personal challenges that they have at work. I don't need to understand your industry, but when you tell me what you do and what exactly you're supposed to do, and you ask me how can AI help in that space and that kind of task you're getting done, I would be able to tell you. So it's more like the more you give me context, I will be able to give you more. So, Mohammed, if you have more questions, you can definitely reach out with specifics on some of the issues and why the resistance is happening, right? So sometimes it might also be you need to figure out why the resistance is happening in the first place. It might be that they're not being resistant to just AI. It might be other reasons. It might be because they feel that they deserve a raise. It might be that it might also be that they're just being lazy as well. But hey, most importantly, you are the boss, right? You are the leader, and you are supposed to be able to steer the ship in the direction you want, making sure everybody feels heard. Listen to them, but at the same time, communicate your reasons for which they need to use AI to move this company forward. How can minutes be generated by AI? Okay, straightforward. There are some AI platforms that you can use. Um, I know for one, there's something. Yeah. Okay.
Hi Peter.
Yeah. How about?
I think if we let them ask you a lot of questions, they might empty out your brain today. So I think what we would do and what we can consider is running a part two of this where you
Okay.
do more practical this thing. So for all our listeners and all our subscribers, Peter will be doing a part two version of the knowledge of the value loop, where we'll be going deep down into what AI tools can be used and can be practically helpful in our everyday work life. So I think with that,
Yeah.
we can have people generate their questions and come ready to tackle, and you tackle them back, and we'll have a more fruitful conversation, because as you have already, you've given me a lot to think about, and you have given a lot of us more experience in the fields of what we are doing professionally. And with this, I will let you round up, then we can carry on the conversation in the next edition. Is that fine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Abba. So guys, yes, Abba said, yeah, we can have another session where you can bring your questions ready, and then that one there will be no presentation. We will just talk through the problems you have and some of the things you want to do with AI, and then I'll give you advice and things like that. To round up, I would say, if anything, you didn't take anything from this particular presentation, it's one thing. Remember, I will repeat, AI may not be able to take your current job away from you, but hey, it'll make it super hard for you to get the next job, right? And the aim for this particular presentation is to make sure that you change your mindset, right? You accept the future and you become a part of the future, right? Always remember that, like, the future has come, right? We keep saying the future is something that is far, but no, the future has come. And always remember that every second there is a new advancement happening in AI. Do not get overwhelmed by the advancement and things happening. Do not get overwhelmed, but make sure you are using AI in your workflow and you're good already. At least you're good for now, right? You don't have to keep up with every new innovation that comes. Just make sure you are utilizing it already. It will shock you that a lot of companies do not even have these AI discussions. They don't care. They feel like nothing will come for their jobs. But hey, every company is being funded by someone, either by the owner or somebody. And once they start feeling the heat, which everybody's going to feel eventually, they will start pulling plugs on some employees because the employees are not moving the needle for them. So that's what I would conclude by. And of course, um, stay well, everybody, and let's become super productive together. Yeah, thank you, and I'm appreciative of everyone having me here as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter. I would like to mention that you can add your social media profile and LinkedIn pages for people that will want to follow you and see your journey of empowering AI through the African lens. I know a lot of people would have questions that they can. I know that you're very active on social media, so you can drop your handles for them to follow you, and when you have the chance, you can reply them or give them some nuggets on what to do in the future. We will be having a part two. Even I have a bunch of questions for you, but me and you will take those offline because this is a very interesting topic. And like you said, it's very good to be AI enabled and not restricted. It will push your work and make you more effective. I have known Peter for a while, and we have always tried to find ways to make everything we do very effective and very productive. If it's not worth doing for us, we might just leave it aside. And I know that that's the kind of person he is. So once again, thank you very much, Peter. And thank you everyone for joining. I hope you have picked up very important information from this, and I hope you have understood a lot and picked up valuable insights. And with this, I will want to close the meeting or want to close this webinar and then tell everybody till next time. For this recording, you can see it on our YouTube channel, on our social medias at the Value Loop Hub. So with that, Peter, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you
very
for having
much,
me.
everybody, for joining.
Okay, bye, guys.